Joy Reid went off on a little tangent today. And, as long as you do the bidding of the corporation, they will never fire you, right? You'll always have a job. That's why Brian Williams has a job. That's why Rachel Maddow can be crazier than Alex Jones ever was, and she still has a job. That's why Joy Reid could say all that horrible stuff that she got caught saying, lied about that she said it, said somebody else packed her, didn't, and she still has a job, right? If you're a horrible person and you lie on behalf of the establishment, you will always have a job. Always. And so this will not be a problem because Joy Reid is willing to do the bidding of the corporation whenever she's told. And but this is kind of funny. To me, it's funny to watch how kind of crazy this is. Okay, watch this.
Them scuffling, shooting paintballs at people, getting in the mix with people. Is that patriotic activity?
I don't think the president's seen that video, nor have I.
When leaders, let's say in the Muslim world, talk a lot of violent talk and encourage their supporters to be willing to commit violence, including on their own bodies, in order to win against whoever they decide is the enemy. We in the U.S. media describe that as they are radicalizing those people, particularly when they're radicalizing young people. That's how we talk about the way Muslims act. When you see what Donald Trump is doing, is that any different?
First of all, I like how she doubled down and said Muslims twice. She didn't just say it once. Muslims do violent stuff. I can't think of any other group of people around the world where some members who identify with that group do violent things. So Muslims. Let's just pick Muslims. Muslim, Muslim, Muslim. Why does my panel look so uncomfortable? Islamophobia at the top, delusional statements about Trump at the bottom. This is your progressive network, folks. I like this tweet. This isn't even subtle. It's blatant Islamophobia by Joy Reid. That was kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts. Here's another one. Alex Koch says, after having a body language expert on her show to malign Bernie Sanders, Joy Reid was recently elevated to a nightly primetime slot on MSNBC. I guess Joy Reid has a public position and a blogger position, I'm guessing. Joy Reid first just throws out Muslim leaders, encouraging their followers to use their bodies to inflict violence. Which leaders? Then compares how Muslims act to American white nationalist radicalization. There you go. Oh, by the way, Reid also has in the past written anti-LGBT blogs, and I shit you not, promoted Alex Jones.
Does that make you regret, Jimmy, ever having an MSNBC contract?
I never had.
Oh, wait a minute.
I never had one of those.
You don't have one.
I don't have one of those. I get to call out Joy Reid when she does this. If I had an MSNBC contract, I would have to make up a lame excuse of why I don't.
You would probably end up filling in for her.
I probably would end up filling in for her. And then Russiagating immediately. When Joy Reid's old blog post resurfaced, the only thing most of the mainstream media focused on was the homophobic part. The anti-Muslim sentiment was largely ignored because it's usually accepted by both parties. So I'm not surprised by the people who are rallying around to defend her. Joy Reid has previously claimed her blog was hacked and that she was unaware that anti-gay comments had been inserted under her name long after she had stopped writing it. MSNBC has stood by her pending an FBI investigation. An FBI investigation. Ooh, definitely not a waste of money at all. The bizarre allegations have raised questions about Joy Reid's honesty and integrity. You think? You think? But here's what I know, Joy Reid said on her program. I genuinely do not believe I wrote those hateful things because they are completely alien to me. But I can definitely understand, based on things I have tweeted and have written in the past, why some people don't believe me. I've not been exempt from being dumb or cruel or hurtful to the very people I want to advocate for. I own that. I get it. And for that, I am truly, truly sorry. That's the best she can come up with? Nah, I didn't write that. Come on. Blame bath salts or something. Say you were drunk. Even the dog ate my decency. But I didn't write that?
I like the part where it says, I genuinely
do
not believe I wrote those hateful things. Like, that's like such like the perfect, excuse. I genuinely.
Genuinely.
It's genuine.
Oh, so if you
It's
say
heartfelt.
that, so you say that's a liar wouldn't say that.
No. A liar wouldn't feel genuine about it.
No, liars would never say, "Hey, sincerely and genuinely, no."
This is heartfelt. I can't believe I wrote those hateful things. That doesn't sound like me.
Joy Reid apologizes after more controversial blog posts surface. You know what they say, where there's smoke, there's usually blogs that'll get you fired. Newly unearthed post from MSNBC's host Joy Reid. Now's defunct blog contains content that is not only anti-gay, but anti-Muslim. It was a crazy weekend, man. She doesn't remember any of it, all right?
Genuinely.
She says the only reason that a world war between civilizations, this is what she has not already broken out, is that the vast majority of Muslims living in the world today are so desperately poor they have time, energy, and resources for only the occasional burst of AK-47 fire into the air from the garbage and sewage-laden streets outside of their mud huts. So this is called the shadow projecting. So she's projecting when she hates on Trump. Remember when Trump called those places shithole countries? That's what that is. They're mud huts in garbage, sewage-laden streets outside of their mud huts. She's just like Trump. Isn't that funny? Isn't that weird? An MSNBC host is exactly like Trump. Isn't that weird? And that's why they hate him so much, because they project onto him all the shit that they actually do. Isn't that funny? That's why they never talk about policy. They only talk about Trump and what a jerk he is. That's what Carl Jung calls the shadow. There it is, baby. That's Trump saying shithole countries. Wow. Reid recently claimed that her website had been hacked and that the homophobic posts were fabricated to smear her. But the post appeared to have been archived by the Library of Congress since 2006. Hey, I love this. Vox soon. How Donald Trump's anti-Muslim rhetoric radicalized Joy Reid. So we know that the time-traveling hackers can get to the 90s in case anyone needs some flannel or clear Pepsi, just so you know. Raza Aslan says, what the hell is wrong with you people? What, this fucking guy? This Raza Aslan guy, come on. What the hell is wrong with you people? Joyanne Reid obviously meant right-wing kids are being radicalized by Trumpism the same way young Muslims have been radicalized by jihadism. That is a fact. Well, it's weird that she didn't just say that then. And why couldn't she have given another example of extremism? Because there are plenty. And then she has this horrible history of saying shit like that, calling them garbage, living in garbage and sewers and mud huts. She already has a history of doing that. You'd think she would pick another group, but she didn't, Raza. Reza? I like calling him Raza. Come on, Reza. You know well that that's not what she said. She held the same views before. I know you want to get back on TV, Reza, but that's not the way. This is not the way, and certainly not on that show. MSNBC's Joy Reid compares President Trump's supporters to Muslim terrorists, and even those on the left are destroying her for Islamophobia. That's from The Blaze. Trump retweets it and says, like Fredo at fake news. Like Fredo at fake news CNN, the very untalented Joy Reid should be fired for this horrible use of the words Muslim terrorists. Such xenophobia and racism on MSDNC. Anyone else would be gone, and fast. You know, when your hacked blogs are so bad, even Donald Trump feels like he can call you out. Jesus Christ. Joy Reid's blog called Islam incompatible with free speech. Really? Islam is incompatible with free speech, Joy? Call me when Comcast airs honest reports on war or the environment or even net neutrality. But it's Islamophobia. You guys have been doing the truth about Russiagate for 4 years? So, of course, the people, bringing you the news on network television have absolutely no integrity or character. Of course not. That's the first thing they purchase is your integrity and character. And if you don't want to sell it, you leave. You leave. Do you want to hear that shit she said again? Because I do. I want to play it again. Let me play it one more time.
Them scuffling, shooting paintballs at people, getting in the mix with people. Is that patriotic activity?
I don't think the president's seen that video, nor have I.
You know, when leaders, let's say in the Muslim world, talk a lot of violent talk and encourage their supporters to be willing to commit violence, including on their own bodies, in order to win against whoever they decide is the enemy. We in the U.S. media describe that as they are radicalizing those people, particularly when they're radicalizing young people. That's how we talk about the way Muslims act. When you see what Donald Trump is doing, is that any different?
Wow. Okay. It's quite an example. Quite an example. Hey, everybody, this is the part where I tell you where all our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then this is why I tell you to join our premium program and get extra content, but nobody's got a fucking job. So just enjoy the video.